break? Bigger. Are we ready to go for a walk? Are we ready? Are we? Yeah, we are. Good morning, ladies. Good morning. You've been fed. How are you? Oh, your water is already frozen from this morning. Okay. Okay. Go ahead. Eat the ice. Okay. Whew. Well, good morning. Oh my gosh. So, I'm a little late, as you can see. The sun is up. And it's gorgeous. It is gorgeous. Good morning. Good morning. I don't know if this mic is gonna work. I got a new mic going on, but it was like a really cheap mic. So I'm not sure how it's going to work. Give me a second. And in the last video, I think it was a little bit like loud and kind of like there he is. Oh no, he's gonna take a poo, I think. Oh goodness. Sorry, did we catch you at a bad time? Well, here's the situation. So this morning, I couldn't come up right before, right before the sun came up because it was minus 25, 27. And when I fed the girls and watered the girls, the dog was tip-tapping. And I really prefer when I go out to go with him. Multiple reasons, but the two main reasons sorry, it's loud, is I love to see him. Like my walks are so enjoyable with him. I'm actually looking forward to getting more dogs. I'm planning on getting at least one more dog. Probably two. I'm looking at potentially like German Shepherd and maybe like Alaskan, what are they called? Alaskan Malamute or something like that, with like a mix of Guardian something or other. I was thinking of getting a Bull Mastiff, but I've got to tell you that I love their size and their sort of lackadaisical attitude, but I just don't know if I want such a drooly dog. Plus, they don't really like to do a lot of exercising. This is something I want to keep forever in terms of having, oh, this guy always peeing and pooing, but having something to really be able to go out with, like a dog like this. He's so active. He's so eager to go outside. I really want a dog for addition to my dog family. I really would like dogs that are really wanting to go out with me. And because increasingly, as the snow reduces and recedes, I like to be able to go further into my property. It's just like there's only so much of a pathway that I've made, and I've been able to maintain it because I've not fallen off the wagon once. I'm happy to report. And it's been 2 weeks now. I mean, it won't be 2 weeks, or maybe it'll be 2 weeks because I only post twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays. So I don't know how, in terms of, just because I record whenever something comes up in my head and I want to talk about it. And sometimes that's daily, sometimes that's every third day, but I keep it in the hopper and then I put them out so that I'm continuously doing something and I'm continuously putting regular content out for us to be able to engage. And I want to be able to have a dog in the pack that likes to be like Odie, like loves the snow, loves the outdoors. Okay, Odie doesn't like rain, but I think that'll change as we go further into the forest. He just gets so excited about going to the forest. It makes me excited, which is, you know, when you get older, and actually I think it's the slowdown of my life, the fact that I slowed my life down, the fact that I was able to achieve sort of the set goal that we decided that we were going to work our tails off and then we were going to save every little penny. And because we are, you know, we're commoners, we're just slaves to just a clog in the machine. So we really had to be very careful, you know, and being here allows me to really start getting on some of the goals I've had on my to-do list for 8 years. Like, I don't know about you guys, if you guys are like to-do list people, but I've always had on my to-do list, walk more, exercise more, read more, write more, just in general, do more. Oh, I lost my dog already. Where are you, Odie? Anyway, and so, you know, all that to say is now I'm so excited. I'm on my third book because the first book I didn't finish, but I'm on my third book and I have not religiously gone for a walk like this and enjoyed it. I mean, it is so enjoyable to do it with a dog. It's unreal. It really is unreal. It changes the reason why you want to go out. And he's become so used to it now in a matter of a couple of 2-3 weeks that as soon as we get up, he's already whining because he wants to go. But then I always gauge basically if we can go because the temperatures are so extreme here. I basically gauge whether or not it's a good idea to go because we go for about 40 minutes or so because that's how much time I need to vent. Anyways, or if I'm not venting, then we can go for a shorter time. But I really like to go for 45 minutes or so, get my heart racing. Oh, I'm not very impressed with this outfit, but this is what I'm wearing today. And I gotta tell you, this hat my daughter left me. I think somebody made it. This, my daughter, I bought for my daughter, but she didn't want it. So I'm wearing it as a dress. And I'm wearing like 3 layers under it. Because I prefer sweaters outside rather than coats unless it's really windy. Then I have to have like a coat where there's like a vapor barrier. And yeah, so I have a reason to get dressed. Like dressed up, kind of. Not dressed up because I'm not dressed up right now. But like once in a while, if it's nicer, I can wear something out of my closet that I don't actually have a reason to take out. Because when I'm like making cheese or feeding the chickens, there really isn't a reason to wear a nice skirt. Like, I love skirts, especially long classical skirts. I love them. And I love fashion. So this like literally gives me a stage to do all of these things. And also to think more deeply. I don't think I've ever had, even though I've always been a person that thinks, and everyone thinks, I know. But what I mean is that, you know, think things through. Are you in there, Odie? Him in this house. He's got this crazy, what is in there, Odie? Let's go check it out. We're going to go check it out. Oh, gosh. Ooh, hang on. I know we're totally not even on any subject yet, but I'm going to tell you some exciting stuff. I hope it doesn't. Look. What are you doing? What's in here? I shouldn't probably go in here. It's probably not wise. You probably should be checking me out. Should be wiser. Let's see. What is in here? Oh, that actually looks like it's food. Hasn't been opened. But I think maybe not too stable. Let's see, Odie. Yeah, this was somebody's house one time. Or one of these days before. But anyway, and I really find that now, especially now, kind of talking to you guys, if you're out there. Oh my gosh, I had 14 views on one of my videos. You have no idea. I was celebrating with my husband. I was just so excited. I know it's, you know, real YouTubers are like 14 views. What I mean, like 14 views is in the first minute. But for me, 14 views is like, I'm making progress. So thank you for all 14 that watched even a portion of my ramblings. What are you doing? Come on, let's go. Come on. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Come on. And so back on the books, I started a new book this morning. Oh my gosh, because I was waiting for the sun to come up. Look at how beautiful this is. I know I haven't even gotten to anything that I'm going to talk about with you guys, but I wanted to tell you about this book. It's by William Cooper. I don't know if any of you have heard it. I would assume, and I would gauge that anybody that is going to enjoy my content, honestly. Look at this guy. I don't know. He's decided that that is the place that he's going to be resting. On the grass. He's taking a break. Because it is still quite cold. But, oh, gosh darn it. But it's okay because when you're on the snow, snow is really actually quite an insulator. Anyways, anybody that's going to enjoy listening to my yammerings is probably going to know or will look into William Cooper. Anyways, I started his book and I literally was like, oh my God, this guy, how come I haven't discovered him earlier? Then I found out that he actually has like talks and stuff like that. So when I get home today, I'm going to be devouring his talks. But basically, he talks about, and it's called Behold a Pale Horse. I think it's called Behold a Pale Horse. It's like a weird name that is not like something that sticks in your head. I guess also probably because I don't understand what the premise of his or reasoning behind his the book title is, and maybe that's why I should probably maybe that's why I'm having such a hard time, but I always forget the name of this book. Anyways, as I was choosing which book am I going to do next, I started leafing through his book, and the first page captured my attention. You know the emoji where like the brain goes poof? That was me. So I'm like, oh my God, there's like no losing. And almost all of my books, just like as a side note or a squirrel or whatever, all of my books are mostly still in boxes. Like I'm essentially still not moved in because my home is not a home yet. It's still sort of a little bit of an upgrade from the home I just showed you. Okay, I'm exaggerating a little bit, mind you, but not that much. And I don't know where the heck he is. And this book goes on about the illusions that people with power provide for us, the people without power. That would be maybe the best way that I would be able to describe the first. And I've only read a few pages because then the sun came out and I'm like, I gotta go for a walk. I cannot miss the sun. The sun is beautiful. Oh, and oh my gosh, I'm on a roll today. Yesterday, we had a full moon, and I don't know if it was fully full, but it looked so full that it basically looked like this version, just like dim, just like the dim version of this. Oh my gosh, me and my husband went for a walk. We froze. Yes, we froze. We came home and all our legs were like stinging and our faces were stinging. Oh, but we didn't go on this circuit that I usually go with you guys, but I went on a short circuit with him because he was getting really cold. He's not actually, it's so funny. I've gotten used to the cold. Even in a few weeks, I've gotten sort of used to sort of the prickling first. It prickles you first and then it goes away. I kind of want to stand here for a little bit. Oh my God, this is beautiful. And maybe I'll go this way so I can get the sun in my face. Anyway, and that really made me think. This book really started making me not think, because like obviously we all think, as I said before, but it made me think about Trump and Mr. Muskie Boy. And I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about the illusion of people with power. And he makes a point in the book, the very first page, where he says, think about it, y'all. He doesn't say it like that. That's just my hick way of doing it. If you had the money and the power, wouldn't you, for your sake, for your family's sake, for the future of your generation specifically, wouldn't you get together with other people of power and money? And wouldn't you guys all get together and map out a future that you want to see that will ensure your family and your great-grandchildren ahead of you and your ability to benefit from the fact that you're already ahead of most everyone, right? Because there's really a 1% of a 1% that really have so much money that they have the power to move markets. I mean, think about it. If people that are hugely invested, like the Elon Musks and the Carnegies that are now trying to get, that are trying to overpower Canada. And that's what's happening. Like, if Pierre Poilievre is really not in the big boys club, he's going to lose, just because he might actually know what it's like to make his own coffee. And like, think about it. Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, these are people that have so much money and power, they just don't even probably pour their own coffee. They have no idea what it's like to go and do your own laundry. Absolutely not. Or go grocery shopping. What then, I ask you, do they have in common with you and me? The common sheep that actually do everything for them so that they don't have to do anything but mind us, mind over us. And I would even venture to say that Trump and Mr. Muskie Boy doesn't even know any poor people like us. Like, I'm considered a peasant. You're probably listening to this and you're a peasant. And I hope that, because if someone like Trump or Elon is listening to me, well, then I guess I won't be on this channel for too long. But all kidding aside, this book poses a very simple question. Easy, like, I've always said this, but the way that he words it, sometimes the brilliance of a writer is putting what you think in a sentence where you can then relay it to some other people that they will be able to better understand. And when I was thinking about who is now in the Doge and who is now trying to get into Canadian Parliament, like Mark Carnegie, he is a professional mafia member, banking mafia member, who has no idea about what the common Canadian needs. Just like there is no way that Trump or Musk have any inkling of what real life really down here, where all our plebs live. Come on, Odie. He's obsessed with the house. They have no idea what it like. They think that buying a watch for $200,000 is getting a deal. $200,000, most people are paying off their mortgage. Come on, Odin, let's go. Come on. Look at this freaking guy. Doesn't want to go. He just looked at me and said, yeah, forget it. I'm not listening to you. So Trump So many people now believe that he's our guy. How? Now that is a mystery to me. Elon Musk, he's our guy. How? Another mystery. I don't know how people think that they can relate. It's kind of, you know what, we've been trained, and now that I think about it, we've been trained by Hollywood to identify with the hero, with the guy that's the underdog who wins in the end. Because in every movie, practically 99% of American movies and Canadian movies and any kind of Hollywood, Bollywood movies, what's the end like? A beautiful bow tie in an hour and a half. The underdog always wins, even if he gets beat to a pulp right to the inch of his life, he always wins. Trigger alert. That's not real life. Okay? When you look around your real life, how many happy endings are there? Okay, granted, you have wins, but I would implore you to actually start taking note of how many wins versus how many losses. Guarantee it that you have more losses than you have wins. You have more setbacks than you do have gains. So that's just to say that we've been trained to believe that these people somehow represent us. Now, I know I've lingered on this point, but really, I mean, let's just think about it logically, people, okay? So Mr. Trump, with his Doge and all of his free-loving, rights-wielding team, is now trying to sell us this illusion that he's going to put America first. Well, let's just talk about that for just 1 minute. America first, eh? Okay, so America first. Remember, in his first time in office, he said that he was going to put Hillary Clinton in jail. Just stupid question, perhaps. Just a stupid question. But is she in jail? Or did she not recently just receive a medal? A medal, you ask? For what? It doesn't matter what the story that they give us is. What's important is she got a medal. A medal is significant of an award for doing a good job. What did she do a good job of? She did a good job of doing what was right for the people in power. Sorry, I gotta keep you low because it's so bright here. So she definitely got a piece of victory for someone. And who gave her the medal? Biden. Who does Biden represent? Not you. I would challenge you to prove to me that Biden is there for you and for me, when he just gave his son 10 years of a blanket of freedom, where this man, from what it looks like, has done a lot of illegal things that people have gone to jail for 100 times less. And I mean 100 times less. People have gone to jail for stealing a couple of $1,000, or stealing from the wrong person a couple of $1,000, or giving information, freedom information, like Assange. Assange was in jail, I don't know how many years, 7, 10, I can't remember, because he came out to show us that our government is creating devastation in countries with our money. And when I say our, I don't really distinguish Canada and the States and Europe from one another. They're one entity. They're all on the same team, even though I listen to this rhetoric that, yeah, we're allegedly, spreading democracy. As I said before, through a barrel of a gun, or through coups, or through creating agitation. Like, okay, I just want to say, what's happening now? They're agitating. they're agitating and they're starting to stir things up. Ever heard of the saying, chaos? Order out of chaos? Order out of chaos is one of those things that people with power not only believe in, but live by. So back to putting America first. Let's talk about tariffs. Are those America first? Oh, yes, that's how they sell it to us. But tariffs, ladies and gentlemen, boys and squirrels, is another word for war tax. Trump is starting or continuing the promised ending of wars, but he's continuing them. He said, I quote, in the first 24 hours when I'm in office, the war in Ukraine is going to stop. As Canadian Prepper said, I think, I'm not a mathematician, but I think it's longer than 24 hours. And I agree with Canadian Prepper. By the way, shout out to you because I watch all your videos. I subscribe. I press the bell button. And I also press the thumbs up. Now, gosh darn it, I said the word and now it already... I used the subscribe word for my friend. Whoops, I just got caught. I have to cut that thing down in the spring because it keeps catching me. And he hasn't stopped. In fact, he's sending more of your money, even though you are poorer, I am poorer, we are all poorer, and he's still sending more money to Ukraine. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Promises made, promises broken. Tariffs, their war tax. He's not only starting with Russia, he's not only continuing the support of Ukraine, but he's also continuing the genocide in the Middle East. We are witnessing, ladies and gentlemen, a historic event. And I am telling you, if any people survive past whatever's coming, because I really, truly believe, even this book was written in 1991, Behold a Pale Horse. Oh my God, it's as if he wrote it yesterday. It's so shocking what he says. I am telling you, if what he says is true, we all need to band together. And I mean the sheep, not the shepherds, because the shepherds are together, believe you me. So tariffs, they are a clean way to trick people into an economic war that always leads to a physical one, which is a kinetic war. And then he talks about, oh, we're going to make everything in America. We're going to bring back the industry. We're going to bring back the industry. Okay, seriously, I thought this guy was a business guy. Just for the record, I am a very tiny, small business person. I had a tiny business. I don't anymore. I'm trying again. But guess what? You know how many years it's going to take to build things in America? And by the way, Americans, Canadians, and all Europeans have gotten used to cheap shit. Guess what? Made in America can't be made for cheap unless we decide to live back in little shacks. So how does he plan on doing that? Like, what is your plan there, brah? Yeah. Okay. Jobs. He says he's making jobs. Do you know that even during his first administration, most of the jobs that were made, like 70% or some crazy number, was in government? That's not creating jobs. That's like you have parasites in your body, giving them sugar and growing them and saying you're fixing the problem. Meanwhile, you just have more freaking parasites in your bowel. Sorry if there's any government workers, but I mean, we don't really need that many government workers. That's the real truth. Because if government workers did their job, you wouldn't need so many of them. Like, there's all sorts of jokes about government workers, you know. Give them an hour job and they'll do it in 6. All right, immigrants. First of all, immigrants. They're allowing immigrants in. Okay, it could be argued that Biden did that. All right, let's go with that. If that's the case, and now Mr. Trump is kicking them out, okay, all right, I'll give it to you. Then tell me why now he's signing documents and putting things through to bring immigrants, mass quantities of them from South Africa. Is that not the same thing except with a different name? Okay, so because you have a friend that's from South Africa, who we'll get to, you're going to bring immigrants now from there, which are even more expensive because now these people have to somehow get brought. So what are we going to, you're going to pay for the ones that are already existing in our countries. You're going to pay for them to be exported, and they could just walk by anyway through the very, very big borders that we have between our countries, let's face it. And now you're going to now haul ones from South Africa, which are so much further away, which now actually require planes. Isn't there some sort of like crisscross with like green agendas and like, you know, I don't know, global warming and footprints and stuff, whatever they call, what are they called? What are they, ah, there you are. Yeah! Gotta move out of the way because he's dangerous for the kneecaps. Well, and you know what the funniest thing is I don't hear it in regular mainstream media. Like, I don't hear it. Oh, look how beautiful it is back there. Isn't it just so pretty? I don't hear it. I just don't hear it. So bringing immigrants from one country because they're your friends, but throwing out the last immigrants, that there were many of these immigrants that worked in the jobs that people didn't want because the industry required it. The McDonald's of the world, the Amazon of the world, they needed cheap labor. And now, okay, getting rid of the criminals, but why not, now that the immigrants are there, why not now neutralize them into the country and make them functional citizens of your country? Okay, criminals, bye-bye. But now he's going to do it with South Africans. And listen, I'm not against immigration. I'm an effing immigrant anyway. But I know what I'm doing for this country. I pay my taxes, I work, I create infrastructure, and I love this country because this country really is my country. I mean, I grew up here. So that's just the illusion of America First, as opposed to really America First. That would be just my humble opinion. The other thing that I think is very important for us to consider is that he was the president or the person in power that brought in the mandates. That, you're such a good boy. He's the one that allowed a process that arguably should take minimum 5 years for safety of his citizens that he supposedly represents. It's kind of like, let's just say you and I have children, not you and I, but like you have children, I have children, and we have to decide for their safety and benefit if we're going to cut corners, and if we have to cut corners, where are we going to cut those corners? Well, let's pretend he's our daddy, because, you know, Tom McDonald really disappointed me. I used to like listening to Tom McDonald, so I thought he had something to say. But daddy's home, really? Like, really? Are you really, I don't know, people that gain power, because when he wasn't powerful, when he was struggling against the machine, it's almost as if when you stop struggling against the machine, it's rolled you over and rolled you within it. And he's now, I think, part of it, because he's daddy's home. Really, Tom? You need to do better. And if he was our daddy and he was our representative, tell me if you would cut corners in terms of testing, and you would cut the process of putting chemicals in people's bodies without having any proof that it's not dangerous. And I will argue that there are many resources, and they're no longer hard to find like they used to be, where they argue that the side effects of all of these things that have been mandated are far more detrimental to us as a society as a whole than they would have been if it was just let loose, whatever was happening allegedly, and the operation just was like, let's just do business as usual. We'll see what happens. Let's let it go. We'll work on this thing on the side, but we need 5 years to test it. But no, he even named it warp speed. And now we're entering this is seemingly bringing us into other things that he's branding it really cool. Isn't that funny that he's got such a cool name? He's the Trump card. And isn't it funny that now all of a sudden he's so popular, and he's the one that brought in the mandates and potentially the harm that they brought, and everybody's like, yeah, he's a good guy. Who is that in? Sorry, there's somebody in my... Oh, I see. Okay, never mind. Sorry. And everybody's just following blindly, because that's what I see. People are just following him blindly. And this Operation C was also something that allowed there to be a test. Come on, Odie! To see how many people would follow someone that says that they're out for us. And he still stands by the way, he still stands by the fact that this said medical procedure is not only safe, but effective. Now, for all y'all that believe that, then I'm not the right person to talk to. And this is, I think, where I realized my thoughts are very thorny, because I would say that this was one thing that divided society and fractured us into even more fragments than we were right before. So in 4 years, they were able to double the fragmentation of the herd, which is very important if you're needing to gain power, because we lose power by being fragmented, and they conversely gain the power when we're fragmented and they are still set on an agenda. Now, that was the second thing I was thinking that I feel like people need to really gauge him with. Like, if you have to give him a report card, you need to be honest with yourself. The last thing I would say is that he was absolutely pro free speech. That was one of his main platforms. Oh, we're going to bring back free speech. And of course, everybody got on the Muskie wagon, because Musk was the free speech czar. And I use that very deliberately, because czars are generally not very pro free speech if they want to remain czars. So Elon Musk rebranded Twitter and made it very much appear as if he was pro free speech, while simultaneously, kind of like with Trump and the mandates and what he rolled out, and the fact that he skipped all of the safety, just threw them all out, just completely just threw them out without regard. Elon Musk has been working, we're going to use the word working, allegedly, on AI, which in every dystopian movie arguably never ends well. And never, hi! And never, hi! Hi, Vivi! See, you finally found me, okay. And never ends for the benefit of humanity. But he was working on that. And and AI never has anything to do with helping us be more free. They sell it as everything else. Oh, it's going to be easier for you. And that's another thing. If you're using AI in any capacity, shame on you. So I got to say, shame on you. Because you're building the very last wall to our prison. So, you know, the one thing that Alex Jones has right, I was talking to my mom today. We were supposed to talk 20 minutes. We talked 2 hours. I think 2 hours. No, almost 2 hours. So there was a 2 in it, but it wasn't 20 minutes. Alex Jones, one thing that he had right is we are in prison planet. And right now they are building the final wall. And if we don't wake up, all of us, we deserve what we get, I guess. But Elon, Mr. Muskie, was working on AI. And what do you think he needed Twitter for? What do you think he needed Twitter for, Odie? Collection of information. No? How do you build an AI unless you have everybody play on it? Everybody feed it. And it's not like our brain where we forget from one day to the next, or, you know, we remember based on our experiences, because that's really, from what I understand, how we remember. But it remembers exactly. That's the first thing. The second thing is, not only does he want to build AI, but wait, there's more. He wants to put a chip in our head. And he's a free speech czar. Do you understand how we're schizophrenic? And how we are so, I don't know, kind of stupid? Sorry, I know that's not nice. It's not a very nice channel, maybe. But I was thinking this today, and I thought to myself, and the only reason why I started thinking about it a little bit, because when I was reading this book, I am telling you, it's like every page is, and now I'm starting this new thing I'll share, because this is really great. Like, I have to put it out there, and then when it comes back at me, I'm like, oh, I'm not doing that anymore. And then so I feel like a sense of obligation to others, which I think in my Keeping Promises video, I just have such a hard time keeping promises to myself. This has been a revelation, this you and me and myself, however we say it, me and the dog, however you slice it. And so as I was blowing my mind, because this man is writing in 1991, ostensibly what's happening today, and he's quite clearly explaining in sheeple terms, like for you and me to consume, to make us be able to better understand how it is that they do this. And the fact that we are now trained to literally, I'm hoping this mic really reduces the crunching of the snow, because I think that's one of the things that I'm trying to reduce. So let me know I'll see on the edit, but you know, I'm hoping that this is better. He is explaining how it is that we buy things like we can believe two opposing ideas, literally opposing. Like, I can't express to you today, my brain, how crazy it is to see that people can believe that Elon can not only think of himself as a free speech czar for you and me, us, the slaves in Slavelandia, us, the cannon fodder. They refer to us as that. I've read another book where that's how it is. And we also can also believe that it's okay that he wants to chip us, tag us, and seek AI in our brain. Do you understand that if we get it? And listen, okay, let's just make this clear. Just for y'all that don't, maybe you've never met Alan Watt on the interwebs. For all of y'all that have never listened to The Last American Vagabond, or if you've never read William Cooper's book, or if you've never read Kissinger's book. Oh my God, Kissinger. Okay, if you believe that only these people have the power, then Kissinger would have been one of the people that you could believe. Read his books. He outlines it for us. They need not to put a stupid chip in our head. They can do it through the bloodstream. So the fact that he's telling us that he's going to put a chip in our head is just another operation, like Operation C, to see if we're ready. Just like the 51st state and Greenland. That was planned. That was planned. Now they're just testing the waters to see how much resistance we're going to give them. Are we going to give them a lot of resistance, and is it just going to be a bother, and are they just going to have to do a little bit more priming? Maybe another year or two? Because really, I will tell you, Operation C was definitely warp speed. I'm telling you, it was definitely warp speed. They brought everything up to date. Like I think I mentioned in one of my other videos, like when I was listening to Alan and in 2007, he was saying what was going to be happening today. I remember thinking, I don't see them doing this by like 2030. Like I just can't. I was thinking, okay, well, it's very possible because there were certain things already lined up where you can see the sort of off ramp where that could go. Okay, you could really visualize it, but I'm like, there's no way. They're like way behind. Nope, I didn't see Operation C. I'm not smart enough for that, obviously. I mean, I'm a pupil of Alan Watt from Cutting Through the Matrix, or Ryan from Last American Vagabond. This way, come on. Or Catherine Austin Fitz, or you know what my mom listens to, and he's very smart as well. He's chill. He's what's his name? Jeez Louise, I can't remember what his name is, but he's from the Crow's House. What's his name? Anyway, it's not important, but I'm their pupil. I'm not smart enough to my ability to research is not as great as it should be. But now that I'm reading more, I'm realizing that it's all within the books. It's all hidden within the books. All the wisdom is in the books. And why are they pulling us away from books, putting us on screens, putting us on TikTok, putting us on these things that diminish our ability to really thoughtfully sit down and read, digest, remember, and reflect. We are being taken away from that because that is true knowledge. And there's this thing called knowledge is power. Yeah, this saying that knowledge is power. Isn't that so true? Isn't that so true? Anyway, those were my thoughts. And I know that was longer probably than I usually yammer on. But, oh my God. I'm kind of glad that I waited until the sun came out because, oh my gosh, can I just tell you, it is so warm when the sun hits my face, or like me, but it's, if I'm walking and I'm in the shade, holy crap, it's freaking cold. My lips are frozen. It's kind of probably good, but I'm going to go inside and have breakfast. Oh, and oh my gosh, can I tell you about my bitch's chicken before I let you guys go? Let me just tell you about my bitch's chicken. So my chicken, I have a chicken inside my house now because I think I mentioned it in another video, because they pecked the crap out of this poor chicken. And now I feel like this chicken thinks like it's being timed out and it's like being punished, but it's not. But let me tell you, she is doing much better. So update. And the other chickens, I don't see them pecking somebody else. So I just don't know how to catch the bully. And isn't that kind of what we were talking about now? Like, it's so hard to sometimes find the bully unless they are outright just blatant bullies. And these people that run the world, that run us, are not blatant bullies. So, you know, be vigilant. Do your research. And I don't mean go and turn on the evening or morning news, because that's not your research. That's called, you're going to be going back to sleep. That's what that's going to be. And you're going to become an obedient citizen. And I'm not saying be a bad citizen, but I am saying be an individual person who is really looking out for your family, for your well-being, for your grandchildren's future. Because we shouldn't really be so wrapped up in, you know, what recycling we should do and how we should do that. We should be more looking for who is actually looking out for our best interests. And the answer is you. You will look out for your best interest the most efficiently. So it is your duty to now find, search, dig, scour for information that feels right. Don't believe the narrative. Believe what your gut tells you. And I know our guts have been suppressed and our guts have been really, well, subverted. And if you would be so eager and maybe curious, go and look into that book. It's called, by William Cooper. It's called, as I said, it's Behold the Pale Horse. Anyway, I hope that wherever you are, the sun is shining on you, and I hope you're not using any of that nasty stuff called sunscreen. But I digress. I want to wish you guys all well. Thank you so much for listening, and yeah, leave comments. Oh my God, if you're one of the 14th, please leave a comment. Even just say hi. It makes me so excited. Anyway, I know I'm such a nerd. Anyways, have a great day. And subscribe and like, because, you know, I think it does work. But anyways, I don't want to beg anybody. You don't want to, no worries. But I hope that you get something out of our chats. And if you can spark some new conversations that I can talk to you about, I would love that. I would love that. Anyways, I'll talk to you soon. Mwah!